I'm Eric Hansen with Backpacking TV, and today we're going to be breaking this down, unboxing it, taking a look at the CampStove 2 Plus from BioLite, and checking out to see if it's worth your dollars. Let's take a look. Okay, my goal for today is to use this puppy to make some mac and cheese and charge my phone all before it starts raining today. Let's do this. Some good news. Mac and cheese is delicious, and I've gone from 50% on my phone to 71% on my phone. So that's actually pretty fast on the charge. Let's see, that took, Kobe, gonna help me? To prepare a mac and cheese meal, to get the fire going, to get water boiling, and then to cook, took 23 minutes. So that's feels a little slow. Of course, I'm managing camera gear and stuff, so I was kind of letting stuff falter a little bit with the fire and keeping the fire even. So that I'm sure if I was just cooking, that would be much easier. Okay guys, so I've successfully cooked some mac and cheese. It was delicious, by the way. And I wanted just to talk about what I enjoyed and what I thought I didn't really like about the BioLite CampStove 2 Plus. So this was a really cool innovation. I think it's a really interesting product, but it does have some drawbacks. So first, I found it a little bit difficult to get the fire even started in the first place. It does come with some fire starter, and that would be really critical. It would be very difficult to just purely start this like a campfire, just because the ergonomics of building a fire straight down. So it's a little bit tough. It's narrow, and that doesn't offer a lot of room for you to make the actual fire. So using fire starting products is critical. And then it took a fair bit of management throughout the cooking process. So I am out here shooting by myself, so I'm managing camera equipment, cooking, and the fire as well. So that altogether made this pretty tricky. So if your energy is not completely on keeping this fire managed and cooking, it's probably going to go out 2 or 3 times, not like fully out, but like you gotta reprime that stove to really burn hot and actually put out electricity and to be cooking your food. So you do need to be kind of having a focus. It's hard to be distracted and also using this product. Third is the cleanup. This itself was mostly fine. However, the pot that I cooked on, which is a pot that I really like to go backpacking with, was left with a black residue kind of on the bottom. I was able to clean it off pretty decently. However, it is not exactly the same as before I used it. So just to know, if you're using things like pine, especially, that is a pretty dirty burning wood, but it's also everywhere. And I'm in Colorado, and that's just the fuel that's around me. So using pine is kind of mandatory, but it puts off a lot of this smoky kind of resin that tends to coat other things. So there's a little bit left around here, but not too bad. But the brunt of it actually landed on my pot. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing. And fourth, this thing is definitely too bulky to be considered a backpacking stove. I would definitely not recommend this as a backpacking stove. It weighs over 2 pounds. However, can you use it as a camp stove? Absolutely. Can you car camp with it? For sure. Is it the most efficient stove system out there for car camping? Definitely not. So some things that I do like about it though is, one, I do like that you can actually just use fuel that's around, not having to rely upon bringing butane or solid fuel tabs to really make your fire go or to make your cooking possible. You can go with, you know, the infinite surrounding of forest around you if you live in a place where there is fuel to collect. Two, I think that it's a really interesting way to capture energy. So this bar right here that sticks into the furnace itself transfers the heat into this mechanism that is simultaneously operating a fan that is keeping the air flowing throughout the stove chamber so that the fire burns hot and smokeless, or at least relatively smokeless. And then transferring and storing, this will actually store power for use later. And then also I was charging a cell phone off of it. You could charge lights or other USB powered equipment off of this USB port right there. So I think it's pretty innovative. I definitely like what they're up to. The biggest thing that this is going to be for, in my opinion, without knowing every intended use, is for off-grid living. So especially if you are, living out of maybe say a trailer or a van like I am, or you're in just a remote area where the city power is not readily available, or a foreign country where the grid might not be working in your favor, or they're just power sources aren't available. So part of BioLite's mission is providing power to people that haven't had access to it before. So a lot of their mission, if I understand correctly, is based on providing opportunities, say, especially in Africa or maybe like the Navajo Nation, or places where there's not really a great setup of infrastructure to provide electricity, that people can cook, do all the things that they want, have power after dark, and collect electricity throughout the day as they're doing their normal things. So as they're cooking their 3 meals a day, they're able to store that power and use it into the evening, which I think is a great mission. So if you're interested in finding out more about BioLite's mission with that, it's kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a charity. I don't really know exactly what it is, but it is kind of a humanitarian mission behind the business that I do appreciate. So if you want to check out more about that, check out biolite.com/mission. And you can find out more about what BioLite is up to there. Things to consider: this will not pack up very well into a backpack, of course, and with the heaviness, it's just not going to be for most people out there. But if you are wanting to have a backup solution to power or a fun way to cook and power things, this is great. This is really fun, and it's a pretty robust little tool. It was pretty pleasing to see once that fan got whirring, and it got really, really hot. And of course, the hotter it burns, the more energy it's putting out, which is really cool. So it took me about 23 minutes to get the fire going, boil water, and cook my meal, which is definitely slower than using other camp stove methods. But the other methods don't leave me with a charged cell phone. I think this is cool. Is it for everybody? I do not think it is for everybody, but if you're an off-grid living type of person, definitely check out what BioLite has. And if you're not familiar with BioLite, they make other products too. So they make headlamps, stove systems, and kind of light camp lighting, things like that. So they're a cool company. And just to make a note for anybody who's out there maybe curious, BioLite is not a sponsor. They did not pay me for this review. They just said, hey, Eric, would you try this out, see if you like it, and give your honest feedback on the product. So I hope that you can find some use out of my review here. Is it a gimmick or is it cool? Well, it totally depends on what your intended use is. For backpackers and campers, most campers out there, I wouldn't say it's for you, but for a select few people out there, this could be a life-changing product. So I definitely think that that's pretty neat. Okay, have you ever used this? Would you use this? I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the BioLite CampStove 2 Plus? I'm curious to hear what you out there might have to say. And if you think I missed something, or if you missed something critical, you might be more familiar with this product than me. This was my first time ever using it, so my history with it might be limited, and you might have some really neat insight that I would love to hear. So I invite you to leave it in the comments below. Hit me up with questions. I love hearing from you guys here on the channel. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed here on Backpacking TV. Thanks so much for watching. We have other great videos, tips, tricks, gear reviews, and more coming your way soon, so stick around. I'm Eric Hansen. I'll see you later.